Warner Brothers is promising some big releases this year. Foobs has his thoughts on Nobody Saves the World, and I've got some on Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. And I get a cool care package from PlayStation. All that and the latest and everything cool today in the Rundown. Hey, welcome to the Rundown. My name is Victor Lucas, and with me is Jose Don Fubar Sanchez, the one and only, wearing the best shirt in the universe. How are you? Reppin' EPN. I love it.
Yeah. Play forever.
It's good to see you. Play forever, buddy. That's the motto, right?
That's it. We've been playing forever.
We have.
I've been playing video games longer than some people in chat have been alive. I'm just saying.
That's the way it goes. Once you start, you can't stop, right? Gets in your blood. All right, we've got a great rundown for you today. It's brought to you by our friends at the Gaming Stadium. They are Canada's leader in online esports tournament facilitation, and they've got tournaments happening every single weekend that you don't want to miss out on. You can find out all about them at tgs.gg, and they've also launched a brand new platform. It's called pepper.gg, and this is all about bringing people together to build their own tournaments. You can put some cash on the line. It's all free, but you can find out all about Pepper at pepper.gg. Very exciting stuff going on over there. Now, we also have a dedication for today's episode, and this is from the very wise. Well, we are dedicating it to you, Foobs. Love you, buddy. This is for the very wise Abraham M., who says, yeah, same thing I expected. It'll be on PS5 for a couple more years due to previous contractual obligations, talking about Call of Duty, but disagreed with me. I expect after those contracts run out, they won't be on PS5 anymore. Yeah, at first they'll have a lot of money not being on PS. They'll lose a lot of money not being on PS, but in the long run, they'll still sell a lot of Xboxes and Game Pass subscriptions with Call of Duty. That's the second biggest third-party IP after Grand Theft Auto. Having it exclusive would just be too lucrative for Microsoft, I think. Now, this isn't kind of in today's news, but I want to get your thoughts. You think Call of Duty is going to be an exclusive on Xbox, or do you think that they will work out something to bring it to other platforms?
I mean, I would hope that they would work out a deal to where it is available on multiple platforms, but people are like, it's going to be, in the long run, you're going to lose a lot of money. They just spent almost $70 billion to acquire it. I don't think they're worried about losing a few $100 million a year.
Yeah.
But I feel like Xbox is smart enough to where they would find some way. I mean, again, I go back to we got the MLB, the show on Xbox, which is a PlayStation-made game. It's made by PlayStation.
Yes.
That's a Sony-made game that is available on the Xbox.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Sony would be able to be like, yeah, no, we can let you guys have this. And if it's just the next 3 Call of Duty, that's still 3 years down the road.
Yeah.
Or 3, 4, 5 years down the road, depending on if they put them out every year. But
I just can't see it happening for, it's like, I guess movies do exclusive deals around where they're going to go in theatrical and stuff. But
sure.
If you look at software, like movie software and other software, it's really about being in as many places as possible. Now, there are some vertical things with Netflix and Disney and all that stuff when they carve out the rights and all that. But I don't know, man. This is such a huge property. I feel like they are going to figure it out. I think it will be on other platforms. This specific game, I don't know if every game that Xbox has been acquiring will be out there.
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends. I mean, where the money is obviously going to be is where Xbox is obviously going to be looking to recoup some of that money that they just spent. No. So I feel like that's a smart group of people over there who want to get their games to the masses. And if it's the PlayStation's version of Xbox's Call of Duty, so be it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other great thing that you can point to with that topic of discussion there is that if Xbox does bring it to other platforms, but it still is full price to play it on the new Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 5, what a great advert that is for Game Pass. Right? That is the best way to advertise Game Pass. You can play it on PlayStation at $70 or $100 after you buy the collector's edition, or you could just download Game Pass and you can play it over here.
I mean, it's a smart business deal, my friends. They're like, and then you have especially if they do work out the 3-year deal for the next 3 Call of Duty games, it's going to give people who already know about the acquisition, I'll just start playing it. If I've been playing it on PlayStation my entire run.
Ooh, man,
or again, if you don't have the PlayStation 5 or the Series X, it's a lot easier to find a Series X or Series S that you could play your new Call of Duties on for the next few years to get used to the controller.
Going to be a crazy November for that, right? Like suddenly
There's gonna be a lot of game passes for it.
Yeah, right. Like it's probably been a pretty. Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's going to be a lot of people that see down the horizon and say, "Well, if Xbox is going to own this, I'm shifting over to Xbox." Crazy days. Okay, we have lots of other good things to talk about with the rundown. Let's get started with a discussion around WB.
There have been a lot of rumors about how WB and Discovery have been working with their game division and whether we'd see stuff on time this year. But now it seems Jason Keelar, CEO of WB Media, has confirmed that huge games like Gotham Knights and Hogwarts Legacy will be out this year, 2022. Do you think we're going to get these games this year, Vic? Is something going to happen?
I think we are so overdue for Gotham Knights. We've been waiting.
I do. I think I'm pretty sure I have a shirt from Gotham Knights from like 2016 or like 2017 from when I first took a look at it.
I got to tell you, it's one of the games I'm most excited about for this year, and I'm still, banking on releases for this year. I know it's been really hard for developers to deal with working from home and trying to, maintain schedules and hit those milestones, working on new hardware, all of these different things that have been, which, hasn't sold as well because people can't buy these machines, and, there's all of these obstacles in the way to get these massive titles. But I have a pretty good suspicion that a lot of this is going to be a tremendous year. I think that there is enough of an install base with PS5 and Xbox. People have gotten used to work from home by this point, and they've delayed this game, they've pushed it back, they've tuned it. This is obviously the biggest thing that Warner Brothers Montreal has ever worked on with Gotham Knights. I think it is coming out this year, and I think it's going to be one of the best games of the year. That's my prediction.
Better than Avengers?
Oh, it's going to be better than Avengers. Yeah.
Suicide Squad?
Well, that's the interesting one, right? Like how it's going to stack up to Suicide Squad. And if you notice all the press around Jason Keelar's announcement, which was at an earnings call, he did mention Hogwarts and he did mention Gotham Knights, but Suicide Squad, which is coming out from Rocksteady, which is also supposed to come out this year, and they've also been working on this forever and ever. We don't know for sure if Suicide Squad is going to launch this year. It's kind of crazy to me that they would put both of these out in the same year in a way, right? Yeah.
I mean, because it's a group of this and a group of that. Which one? I have to pick sides in the DC universe itself?
Yeah, it's weird. What might be interesting, and who knows, like I haven't seen any, press around this at all, but what might be interesting is Gotham Knights might tie in some way to Suicide Squad and blow our minds, right?
Wow.
Because
you just blew my mind. I wasn't thinking about that, but now I am.
Well, it's Rocksteady working on a game that I think still takes place within the Arkham universe, and Gotham Knights I think is a distillation of some of the Arkham stuff out there as well, Yeah. So I don't know. I am more fired up for these two games than I can properly express. I'm also excited about this Wonder Woman announcement that happened not too long ago. We've got a long ways to wait for this. One's being developed by Monolith. But the thing that's interesting to me, especially as we reflect on the idea that Warner Brothers isn't going to sell off its gaming division. They kind of hinted that something might happen there. They've had some issues with TT. I feel like they are gearing up for the multiverse. I hate that I bring a multiverse up in every episode of the Rundown right now, but
you're clearly a fanboy, Vic.
Well, I'm not a fanboy, but I feel like all of the media groups out there are thinking, okay, well, we don't want to miss the boat on the multiverse. We got to have all of our characters lined up, and so the movies and the TV properties that Warner Brothers has around their DC universe and their Harry Potter universe are incredibly important. But I think if they're going to be getting into the multiverse, games are going to be the conduit to that. Whatever we do in the multiverse, it will be sort of game friendly navigation and sort of interaction and user interface that will bring us into that content. So I think these massive media conglomerates are really recognizing, Microsoft just bought Activision Blizzard for $70 billion. They're really recognizing how important video games are for all media going forward.
I'm interested to see how well Harry Potter does, because I thought with they just shut down the Niantic Harry Potter game, which was like obviously when Pokemon is still, one of the biggest iPhone things or mobile things in the world, you would think like something like Harry Potter. Is it too late in the Harry Potter saga for another, like for people to keep, feeding that Harry Potter need?
I don't know. I feel like the J.K. Rowling backlash and the sort of controversy that she set up for herself, and Johnny Depp and his issues and stuff, and the two Fantastic Beasts movies are cool, but I don't think they're as good as the Harry Potter stuff, and I don't think they've been
as captivating.
Yeah, they haven't been accepted by the audiences out there. So I do feel like there's a little bit of distance from the sort of white hot heat that Harry Potter has had. But I think new generations of kids keep discovering it. My daughter's still obsessed with Harry Potter and stuff, and I'm sure she's going to be excited to play this game. But I don't know. It's clearly an incredibly expensive endeavor that they've spent on this Hogwarts game. I mean, look at this thing. You're basically running around 3D Hogwarts with all of the tiny little beautiful details and the sorting hats and the Quidditch brooms and all that stuff. It's clearly a huge investment, but I don't know if they're going to make a return on it. But it is exciting to think that stuff is finally going to be hitting this year. Like we've got Lego Star Wars, which has also been, way too long in development. And if we have these three, if we have Suicide Squad and Harry Potter or Hogwarts and Gotham Knights, Warner Brothers is going to have a big year.
Yeah.
Very, very big year.
They're looking to do all right.
What are you most excited about out of these three games? And of course, the correct answer is Gotham
Knights. Yeah. Probably. I mean, the Harry Potter ship for me has kind of sailed. I'd be interested to see it. I mean, I'll play it. I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah.
See if it can capture my magical fantasies back. But Gotham Knights looks just looks super cool, and I want to dive into that world.
Incredible. I cannot wait to play this game. All right, well, something that you and I have been doing is playing some pretty cool games recently. Let's talk about a couple of them. We're going to start with Nobody Saves the World.
What a gem. Have you put much time into Nobody Saves the World at all?
Just what I streamed the other day, and I had a really good time. It's a beautiful game.
I mean, I love me some Drinkbox Studios games. So when I found out that they had a new game coming out, I was like, you know what? It's been a while since I played like a solid sort of experience like this. And I had so much more fun than I thought I was going to have playing this game. I mean, they introduced so many different characters. I liken it to the weapons in Ratchet and Clank. Like, you want to use the weapons in Ratchet and Clank. You want to upgrade them. You want to make them better. This game, especially, you'll get into some choke points where you have to unlock certain abilities that certain characters have. But the fact that it's so seamlessly done, like, okay, I don't want to be the slug. The slug seems lame. Then you take on the slug and you're like, this slug is so badass. He's spitting out this goo and just crushing enemies and crushing shields left and right. And then you got this bodybuilder guy who's just jacked out of his mind. He was Arnold. He was my Arnold the entire stream.
Oh, he was really cool.
1, 2, 3.
What I love about Drinkbox is they clearly are making fun of a lot of the tropes that we see in video games, right? Yeah. Like the first thing that you do in this action role-playing game is you play as a rat. Mm-hmm. And you're used to just killing rats all the time, right? But the rat is incredibly powerful and effective. More effective than nobody.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really give nobody his due diligence until the end when you need him.
Yeah,
he'll level up through again, going back through the mission, the way everything's laid out. It's such a good grind of a game where there's no real I gotta go find this.
Yeah,
I gotta go off and do this. You gain experience doing so many different things and just upgrading all of the character's abilities and trying to get your character to that top tier S level. And then you're like, oh, if I get this guy to this level, I can unlock a new branch and I'm gonna unlock, the big knight. I'm like, I want the knight. I'm like, wait, you play as an egg. The egg doesn't do anything, but he sits in a nest. And if you find enough nests, you will get a dragon. A dragon shows up at the end of the game.
Oh,
you plays a dragon. You shoot fire. You're spitting hot fire. I mean, I finished this game in about 18 hours.
And did you love it?
Just a blast.
Yeah.
I had a blast all 18 hours. I was like, oh. I even had the wifey got me one of those backbones for my iPhone.
Yeah.
I was like, if I was sitting down, I streamed about 99% of it. There's 1% I threw on my phone, and I was like, I'm just gonna do a little side missions, upgrade my guys on my iPhone.
How cool? How did you like that experience?
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, again, just that having that functionality is a beautiful thing. That's a whole other side thing, but
yeah,
I like how cool that works.
Yes.
Play little Forts on my
So-
iPhone. You play Forza
so you-
Horizon 5 on your iPhone?
No, I haven't. So you're playing over cloud, over a
Yeah.
Game Pass cloud or X Cloud or whatever.
Yeah.
You're playing Nobody
Playing my
Saves the
games.
World. That's
Yeah.
that's incredible. And so, is it a game that requires you to play it again? Like, is it a run-based experience, or are you finished it and you're done?
I mean, I did dive back in because there were a few more. I mean, I'd like to, get the I'm all about them achievements.
Yes.
So I'm all about, I can like dive in, and there's a few other side missions I can do. And there's one that was just like, I got to survive this guy's one punch rat slayer. And he kill any rat with one punch. Once I figured out how to get through his nonsense, thwarted him.
That's awesome.
But I mean, you do kind of want to go back and sort of level all the characters up if you're into achievements. But they do unlock New Game Plus also after you finish the game, so you can go back in again, beefed up.
But for those that want just like a start to finish experience, like a story based, that's what the game delivers.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I had a blast from the beginning to the end. It was just like,
right on.
And then again, you find these.
The music is amazing in it too. Right?
Oh my.
Yeah, the music is so good.
It's just, I mean, again, Drinkbox knows what I like.
Yeah.
They tickle my fancies, and I definitely don't mind them doing it. But it was just so much fun to try to, want to level up these characters, because you can start to swap abilities from certain characters onto other characters as well. So you're like, okay, well, this guy, somebody's going to do some lightning damage, and somebody's going to do some fire damage. You can like put all the little moves in different areas, and then beef up your characters and try all new kinds of abilities.
It's
so
such a cool game.
playthrough every time you play through.
I would say that it's, I don't think you get the full scope of it when you're just looking at video game footage of it, right? Like it looks, I mean, it's not state of the art, but there's so many cool elements in it, and it's so, like, I found that when I was playing it too. It just draws you right in, and you're completely sucked into the storytelling and the music, and you see the beauty in the art as well.
Yeah.
But it's a tricky one to kind of show off in the trailers because it just looks like chaos.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna go through and kill a bunch of things.
Yeah.
But you have to learn those little nuances of like, okay, well, he's got to have the fire breaker thing on, and he's got his mule kick, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's way more. That's again going back to it. It was just way more fun than I expected it was going to be. Like once you start tweaking all the powers and like, I can put the fire running thing on my horse, and now he's like a super badass horse who's causing fire damage and turns all of the dead enemies into zombies who are going to help me as my familiars. What?
That's
And then there's just like 100 guys on screen helping you at once. You're like, I don't know what's happening. It's working. They're poisoning all of my foes. Go get them, bad guys. Go get them.
What are you gonna give it?
I give it 8.5.
8.5. Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I've also been playing something really damn cool, and that is Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. Right. It's a puzzle game. Pocket Dungeon is the name of it. And I got a Switch code from Yacht Club. This is obviously picking up on the Shovel Knight experiences, which are, a little bit more 8-bit side-scrolling action run-and-gun type experiences. Love the Shovel Knight games. This one is a gravity-based puzzle, but there's a lot more strategy involved, which kind of takes you into the way that you would play the core Shovel Knight games. And it's about the combat kind of attacks that you have as all of the different enemies are coming down the screen. Basically, you're trying to stay alive by the screen not filling up with stuff, but you have a lot of mobility. And it's almost like... what was that rhythm-based game?
Dance Dance Revolution.
No, that they made with
Guitar Hero.
With Zelda as well, the Hyrule one.
Yeah.
What was the first one called? I forget the name of it.
The Crypt of the Necromancer?
Yeah, Crypt of the Necromancer. There's a Crypt of the Necromancer kind of vibe where every time you move, the other things coming down, the other creatures and stuff are all moving, and so you have to be strategic on where you move within the play area. But you also have to be tough enough to beat the enemies as well. So you have to know the enemy types, and then you slide around as one of the knights, because one of the cool things here is you can unlock a bunch of different playable characters, and they have different abilities, and there's lots of cool power-ups, lots of magical abilities. There's little side areas that you're always going into. But you've got to be constantly aware of how fast the arena is filling up with all of these characters, And some of them have different abilities, like those gold knights will actually put up a shield, which makes them kind of impervious, and unless you sneak around to a different side and you hit them from somewhere else. And of course, what you're seeing here is if you're taking down a bunch of these characters and you chain them, they will all disappear, and then you'll get some gems, which then you can use to buy some new power-ups and stuff like that.
So it's essentially Nobody Saves the World.
Well, it's a role-playing game. Yeah, it's a role-playing puzzle game.
Role-playing puzzle game.
With the action mechanics kind of lifted from the traditional Shovel Knight experience, and all of the characters, and a beautiful music score in this as well. It's a wonderful game. The only knock I had with this game is that there's actually a kind of a bug on the Switch version right now, which is still sitting at 1.0. I was playing it last night and still looked at it. But there is a progression bug. If you go into the daily challenge, which is one of the other modes in the game, there's the adventure mode, there's the versus mode, and the daily challenge. If you go into the daily challenge, which I did live on the stream, it wiped out my progression. And so I had to start the game over from the very beginning. But I had the achievements all unlocked of all the knights that I'd already beaten, and I had been able to unlock the cannon that shot me forward into the game, but nope, I had to start right over, and I'm like, what?
Wow.
But I did, and that's how good the game is that I started over, and I've gotten farther than I did when I was playing it for the first time. And I absolutely love this game. I think it's so addictive and it's so cool. It does get challenging when you get into the boss fights.
Like when it makes you do everything all over again.
Yeah, that definitely sucks. They
At
have
least
patched
it happened early on. You know, it wasn't like I was 76 hours into this game.
I'd already put in like 6 or 7 hours, so I was like, oh great. So it took me a little while to get back to it, but I'm sure as hell glad that I am playing it again. I'm loving the experience, and I'm not doing the daily challenge to wipe out everything. I'm sure they're going to update it, but the cool thing about this game is that it's on every platform. It's on the PC and it's on the other consoles. It is a great fit on the Switch, though. And it's really simple to play. You're just pressing the D-pad in different directions. It's not even worth using because it's so specific about what direction you're going to attack the different enemy types. And the boss fights are crazy. You unlock them as you beat them, which is pretty damn cool. I love this game too. I want it to be patched, and maybe you hold off before you pick it up, but I definitely think it's worth the pickup. I would give Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon an 8.5 out of 10 as well. 2 8.5s.
Nice.
All right, let's move on. We've got some other stuff to talk about on the rundown today, including a nice little care package that Sony sent out my way. Hey guys, our friends at PlayStation sent me out a care package, and I thought I would unbox it for everybody today. It's got some pretty cool stuff in it. I already took a little peek, but let's take a look together, shall we? First of all, I got this brand new PlayStation 5 cap, which is cool. When I'm not on camera, I usually, actually sometimes when I am on camera, I wear caps. So thank you for that, Sony. That's very cool. I got a new PlayStation 5 water bottle. These are always super, super handy. Oh, look at this. It's actually a PS5. Oh, this is very slick. Look at that. So cool. Look at that. PlayStation 5 water bottle. I like it very much. And I got a PlayStation 5 notebook, or PS5 notebook. I'll put that up there. There you go. Look at that. Super slick. So this is very cool. I got a backpack, PlayStation 5 backpack, I guess, for carting around my PS5. I don't know if they sized it so it'll fit the actual PlayStation 5, but there it is. It's got the PS5 logo on it. I like all of the PlayStation icons on the side. I've got the Starlight Blue PlayStation 5 DualSense controller. That is so cool looking. I'm going to open that up in a second here. And I have, to match the Cosmic Red PlayStation 5 DualSense controller that I have. So I now have the PlayStation 5 console covers in the Cosmic Red. This should look really slick when it's all put together. This is a pretty incredible care package to receive, I gotta tell you. This is amazing. Alright, here we go. So PlayStation 5 DualSense in Starlight Blue. Boxes everywhere. Put that there, and look at that. So pretty. Oh my goodness. That looks so cool. I actually really like the red. I always did. I love the controller, and I love the red on this too. It just looks so cool. These new ways to customize your PS5 actually came out a little bit quicker than I thought they would, but I really do appreciate these. Very sleek, and I can't wait to see these on the side of my PS5. Thank you, Sony. Thank you, PlayStation Canada. Very cool stuff. Pretty sweet little package. It's there are many days where it's like, man, I feel very lucky to be me, and this was one of those days. I got
a plain old white controller here. It's fine.
I have to be honest. I still love the white of the PlayStation 5. I know not everybody does, and it's massive. I know, but I think they kind of made something sleek looking that's very distinctive from the rest of the things, and I think people are going to look back on this PlayStation 5 with the same kind of I don't know, glint in their eye that we all look back on the GameCube. Remember, the GameCube was just mercilessly ridiculed when that came out, but what an adorable machine that is when you go back in time and you know, plug it in.
Travel handle attached.
I love the GameCube, and I this is the PlayStation 5 is the inverse of the GameCube because it's massive, but I like that it's so different, you know?
Well, that's what I was talking to you about it before. The fact that it's interchangeable shells. Is a genius thing.
It's a great idea, yes.
I don't need to continue to buy multiple iterations of a damn console. Don't put out an awesome PS4 Pro edition of this console and then have 7 other ones that are all super sick looking. Just let me buy a skin. Let me buy a faceplate.
Yeah.
The old Xbox faceplates, remember those?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
And
I'm 100% down for buying
the faceplates aren't that expensive, I think, you know, for, like, you can see it behind me. Like, it's incredibly distinctive when these things get put together because it's a piece, you know, wherever you put it, it draws the eye. So I
want mine to be like a shell, but look like an entire bookcase. So when it's up against my wall, you don't know if it's an entire bookcase shelf or if it's a PS5.
Well, I think the shells are like $70 or something like that, and the controllers are around the same price. I would love PlayStation though. Actually, I think the controllers, the DualSense, are a little more. I think they go up to about $90 in Canada. I don't know what they are in the States. But I would love PlayStation to take many pages actually, from the Xbox playbook and do the customize your own controller. You know, go onto the website and put all the colors and the stuff together.
It's just money waiting to be made,
right?
Especially for the streamers out there who want their own custom things. They don't want to like paint their actual controller.
Yeah, and there are services you can go off and send your stuff too. But Sony should do that, and they should take it to the next level. I mean, I love that I'm customizing stuff now. The blue controller is going to go to my kiddo, who loves blue and turquoise and stuff. So we're very excited. Blarcade says DualSense is over $100 after tax in Canada. It's ridiculous. It is a pretty incredible piece of tech, though, that DualSense controller. I mean,
but
that's a lot to do.
I know. It's so much money, man. Like, it's more than a game. You know,
they don't make money on their consoles. The game companies,
because you can't find them. You can
still
go to a store and find a controller. But you can't find a console
they make the money on the Razer blades. You know, like the Razer. That is a loss leader after all the R&D and manufacturing and all that stuff. They're computers, right? They're like pretty powerful computers. There's no way you could get a PC gaming system that runs like a PlayStation 5 for that cost. So PlayStation is losing money or breaking even on the hardware. But yes, the controllers, just like Xbox is, the Xbox controllers are pricey too. Yeah. But they're sleek, man, and they are like... It's a part of our lives. That's the other thing, right? Like, it's not just
some of us. Not everybody can get a PS5.
No, I know. But when you do get them, when you have the machines, they become... If you're watching this show, they become an important element in your life. And it's fun to celebrate this stuff. And Sony gets it.
I just hope that we're going to be in a position sometime in the future where you're going to go to the store and it's not just going to be a different amount of shells and controllers you can buy. Right. You can also find the console that
machine
goes with
itself. Yeah, 100%. Printers too, I Red Earth says. Yeah, I know you guys all have tons of opinions about all of this stuff. Many of you probably are still wondering where the hell you can buy a PlayStation 5 right now. Hopefully that story becomes a thing of the past very soon.
Fingers crossed for everyone.
Yes. All right. We've got a couple more things to talk about. Let's talk about the return of a little kangaroo.
For the few select who can remember, way back to the year 2000 and the Smash Polish sensation KO the Kangaroo, which was a very Crash Bandicoot-esque style platformer on the Dreamcast. There's a brand new reboot coming in hot this summer. What, Vic? Did you get your hands in the Kangaroo's pouch way back in the 2000s?
I did play it. I think I remember reviewing a KO the Kangaroo. It's actually a cool name, right? And I think one of the things about it was it developed by an Australian company back then.
Polish.
A Polish company. Interesting. And is it a Polish company for the new one too, or is it a totally different?
Ooh, I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, I know that's what, when I looked it up online, because I was like, I remember hearing about it, but I couldn't remember when it came out. And it was like, no, this Polish company made the game back in 2000 and they sold a poop ton of copies in Poland.
Yeah.
But then people were playing it on, PAL conversions or whatever Dreamcast you had back then to play it on.
Listen, I am all about the cutesy Mascot action-adventure platformers. I think we had a ton of them before.
Like the Tasmanian Tiger.
Right, that was the one that was made in Australia, and it was kind of
the
celebrating
was?
it.
The Tasmanian Tiger. Come on, Victor.
Well,
KO versus Ty.
Hopefully what's happening with the resurgence of this, I mean, we saw that with Kana and the Bridge of Spirits as well, right? Like, there's something to be said for going back to those days when Rare was a super popular company and Crash Bandicoot, a different, character-based, like the Banjo-Kazooie company. Yeah. It's really cool to go back into that kind of mindset and play experiences like this if they're done well. That's the caveat.
Banjo. I'll play a new Banjo. Playing it on the Switch, playing the old one on my Switch.
The old one's awesome. I streamed that just the other day. I don't have the same level of love for KO the Kangaroo. I remember feeling like it was a little bit generic. The original one, but clearly a lot of people found some joy there, and let's bring it back for sure. I mean,
22 years it took before they realized.
If you go back into 16-bit, like the Rocket Knight Adventures would be amazing for Konami to, work with somebody to bring that back in 3D.
Vector Man. What's Vector Man doing nowadays?
Vector Man would be super cool. Yes, Arrow the Acrobat. There's a whole bunch. Actually, I want to hear from you guys. If we're bringing back KO the Kangaroo, what other Mascot cutesy type characters out there should the video game industry be bringing back into 2022 and beyond?
Go into that wealth of knowledge, that deep. What's
and passion and emotion. Because these characters came out and they, and that's the thing, right? Like, some people are Sly Cooper fans. Some people are Jak and Daxter fans. Some people are Ratchet and Clank. Some people love them all. But there is this emotional tie to some of these characters. And then they disappear. And we don't see them anywhere. And there's so much work, not just on the games, but on the lore building and the other characters.
Especially the games that had sequels. Like the games that were those franchises back in the day. Like, Siphon Filter's not a platformer. But I mean, like those games that had such a fan base back in the day that were like, why did we stop this?
Why did we stop,
because
right?
the company got shut down or something other than that. But I mean, you can still bring back franchises with new companies.
Totally. Darth Taz says Cool Spot. Blarcade says Rough Trigger. Magna Whirl says Kirby is back. We never have to worry about Kirby disappearing. Kirby is always back with something. Bucky O'Hare from Konami, Blarcade also says. Conker's Bad Fur Day. Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Yeah.
Sly Cooper needs to come back, John Yomtov says. Sweet Tooth. Not so cute. But yes, we do need something new in the There's the Twisted Metal show.
Twisted Metal.
They got the show coming. Battletoads. We just had Battletoads.
You want the game.
The game, yeah. Voodoo Vince, Bubsy. Sega Knights. Kid Chameleon. Oh my God. Abby Rebel. That's a great one. Holy moly.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Yeah.
I think, there's a lot to tap into. It's not just nostalgia. It's like all the work that went into that. Let's bring it back and honor that stuff.
Sure.
With a team that really gets it. Glover from 181. All right, we've got one last thing to talk about, and that is a very cool new development for NHL 22. Today, EA Sports dropped a new trailer that talks with some of the women's national teams that are now a part of the NHL core experience. The IHF is a part of NHL 22, so people can play the game and play as some of their favorite female hockey players. One of the things that I liked in this trailer is that some of these athletes were talking about how video games were their conduit to the sport of hockey and getting to know, what it would be like to play this incredibly fast-paced, action-packed sport. But they learned a lot of that stuff through video games, so it's a bit of a cool full-circle thing that's happening right here. I think it's fantastic. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they're playing the sport. Put them in the game.
Right.
Let's make it happen.
It's in the game,
it's
right?
It's in the game. It's literally the slogan.
Yes.
Is it in the game? Oh, it is now? Okay, now it's in the game.
You know, I always think back to when I was cutting the Ghostbusters review in 2016, and my kid, who was 4 at the time, 3 or 4, saw me cutting the thing on my computer, and she walked up and she stood behind me and she said, "There are girl Ghostbusters?" And that movie wasn't great, but that hit me like a ton of bricks, man. It was like my little kid, my little daughter, already saw that we need more representation, you know, and she brought it home for me. It was like I was like nearly crying as I was cutting this thing.
It's her Ghostbusters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
How old were you when the original came out? You know,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is like, yeah, no, they're actually gotta let her know. There's actually guy Ghostbusters too.
Yes,
I
know there are. Yes, she's seen that movie a couple times actually, and she hasn't seen the new one yet. But that was really a profound moment for me. I've always thought that, we need more representation across all of this stuff for sure. We need different voices and different stories, but I think it's wonderful. And hopefully, we're seeing the WNBA in the NBA 2K franchise.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are some female coaches or there's female representation in the storytelling around the other sports games in FIFA and in Madden and stuff. But yeah, I think it's incredibly important. Yeah, and there's female teams in FIFA as well already. Yeah. But this is cool. It's a good thing for EA to be spending their money on, because we all know that NHL is incredibly popular in Canada and countries in Eastern Europe and stuff. But it's not the juggernaut that FIFA or Madden is for that company every year. And so it's good to see that EA keeps investing and keeps trying to find new ways to get more people to play.
Yeah.
I still think it's insane that we don't have like a classic feeling NHL experience on the Switch. I just think it's like...
Yeah, well, they just did the NHL 94? Just came out, was it 97, 94?
94, yeah.
94,
they could have put that right on the Switch. They could have. I don't know what they're doing. But good news there, and some fun stuff to talk about today. Always made way more fun by my incredible guest host, Fubar Sanchez.
Thanks,
you
Vic.
rock, my friend.
Hey,
you're fantastic.
Where can I get where can they get the merch?
We have merch links on our YouTube channel at youtube.com.
Find the links, people. Click the link.
And does actually go to epn.tv/merch, and you can find some cool EPN ideas on that page.
You too can look just as cool as I.
I really do. I mean, I'm not impartial, but I really do like that shirt. It looks really damn freaking cool. It's a good logo. And that was Tavis Dunn, man.
You left it in the basement. I needed something to wear. I was topless. It would have just been awkward.
Oh, yeah, we could do a topless show one day. That would make it weird for everybody. Thanks, brother.
What do you give these reboobs? Reboobs on the run.
Non-reboobs. Well, listen, have a great day and a great week, and don't be surprised if I ping you next week and we start making this a more regular thing.
I just got me a code for the new Unchartedness.
Very nice.
Courtesy of the man, the myth, the Malenka. So I'm on. That's what I'm going to be doing. This weekend's very busy. We got football.
Right.
Go Niners.
You want the Niners in there.
Go Niners.
Is Tom Brady he is out? Is Tom?
He's out.
I haven't been following. He's gone.
But if the 49ers can win on Sunday,
yes.
I'm going to find my way to the Super Bowl. Because
wow.
It's in LA.
Wow.
I can't not.
Wow.
And the Royal Rumble tomorrow night. It's going to be a busy weekend.
So in a couple weeks, you'll be arrested in Los Angeles outside of the
Goddamn right. I'll be wearing this shirt, though, so I'll look cool in my mugshot.
That's awesome. Please do that. Poobs, I love you, buddy, and it's so great to have you here. Thank you so much. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for following the channel and subscribing to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/EPNTV. Or if you're watching this there, check out the Twitch channel to watch the show live from time to time, twitch.tv/EPN. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. And until then, play forever.